Hey everyone, Mark Hall here from Knockbreda Parish Church. One of the books in the Bible that I keep going back to these days is the book of First Thessalonians, because a lot of the book is written in light of Jesus' return. And Paul really writes the book because he knows that there's so much to distract us away from God as we wait for Jesus to return. I wonder if you've found yourself being distracted over the last few weeks or months. Maybe you've been discouraged, or things have got you down. Maybe you've been fearful or worried about the future. Or maybe this whole scenario has made you question your faith. Well, in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 8, Paul says something that I have found immensely helpful in my Christian walk. And what he says is protect your heart and protect your head. Now, we live at a unique time, and it's not because of the coronavirus. It's because we live in between Jesus' ascension and his return. But the Bible doesn't tell us to put our feet up. It doesn't say to relax or chill out. It tells us to be on guard, to protect your heart and your head until he returns. We're told to guard, to protect our heart. It's our emotions and our feelings. How? Paul says to put on the breastplate of faith and love. He tells us to protect our head. It's our thoughts and our thought processes. How? To put on the helmet of the hope of salvation. There's so much out there to distract us, and it's so easy to let some kind of feeling or emotion take over us and master us and distract us away from God. And yet the Bible tells us to be on guard, to protect your heart, to cover it, to surround it in your faith in God and your love for God, that no feeling or emotion may master you or distract you away from him. It's so easy to let some kind of thought or thought process enter our minds and take over us and distract us. And yet the Bible says, be on guard. Protect your mind. Protect your head by surrounding it, covering it in the hope that you have of salvation. Protect your heart and your head. It's a difficult task. And if we're honest, none of us could do it. For who of us can fully protect our heart and head that we may never be distracted from God? And yet in the verse that follows, in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 9, the Bible also tells us that God destined us for salvation through Jesus. In other words, it's in Jesus and through Jesus that we can protect our heart and our head. Because not only did Jesus Christ die on a cross to forgive us for our sin, our failure to protect our heart and our heads, but he also lived for us. And that as he lived for us, he was the one who did. That all of his emotions and his feelings were surrounded and protected by his faith in his Father and his love for his Father. And that all of his mind, his head, was covered and protected by his hope in and for salvation. Which means that not only does Jesus forgive us through his death, but through his life and by his resurrection, he comes by his Spirit to fill us and to be with us, to enable us and empower us in his strength and by his might to protect our heart and protect our head until he returns. So this week, may we be a people who protect our heart and our head in his strength, just like him, until one day we see him.